Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you took a cute Japanese high school girl and threw her into a Dark Souls style horror nightmare? Well, Silent Hill F just answered that question, and let me tell you, the answer is way more insane than you could ever imagine. Folks, I need to start by saying, as a longtime fan who has been with these theories since Silent Hill 1, my feelings for Silent Hill run as deep as first love. Ayo, what's up everyone? I'm your gamer Retro D. Today, we are diving into this new entry that has got Silent Hill fans loving and hating it. Silent Hill F. Wow, this game exploded online as soon as it dropped. Some call it the revival of the theories. Others say it botched the classic horror vibe. Guess what I think? Hold on, hit that like button and subscribe button first, and let's peel the back layers of this game's true face. You ready? Let's plunge into this creepy Japanese countryside world together. Silent Hill F takes place in 1960s rural Japan in a fictional town called Ibisugako, following high school student Hinako Shimizu. Now guys, pay attention to this setting. 1960s Japan, we are talking about an area filled with traditional cultures, classic architectures, traditional clothing, Asian costumes, and then boom, white monsters suddenly appeared and the whole town turned into literal hell on earth. It's like watching Spirited Away and then bam, suddenly it turns into The Grudge. The contract is absolutely mind-blowing. The developers really nailed this concept, perfectly blending the essence of J-horror with the modern game design. Poor Hinako here was trying to live her normal JK life, going to school, club activities, chatting with friends, and suddenly she had to face white monsters that are more terrifying than Resident Evil's Tyrant. This is a real-life version of I just want to live peacefully. Why is it the apocalypse? First, let's talk about the most crucial issue, the horror atmosphere. Guys, while playing Silent Hill F, I couldn't help but think multiple times, is this really the same Silent Hill that used to make me afraid to use the bathroom at night? Remember those oppressive long corridors in Silent Hill 2? Remember how the sudden appearance of monsters in Silent Hill 3 made your heart race? In Silent Hill F, that bone-chilling atmosphere feels like diluted soda. The flavor's still there, but the impact has been severely diminished. This isn't to say the game isn't scary at all, but that deep, marrow-penetrating sense of dread has clearly weakened. Maybe it's because the modern games focus too much on visual effects and neglect the essence of psychological horror. You know, true horror isn't about jump scares, it's about creating an atmosphere that makes you feel uneasy even during quiet moments. Oh man, as an old fan who started playing Silent Hill 1, I have to say Silent Hill F's scary are kind of weak compared to the previous ones. Remember the suffocating psychological terror in Silent Hill 2? Those shadowy fissures in the fog that make your heart race with every step? Or the bloody senses in Silent Hill 3 that gave you nightmares? But in Silent Hill F, set in 1960s rural Japan, it should have been super atmospheric. Think ancient shrines, airy folklore, And that's Eastern's mystical horror vibe. Sounds awesome, right? But nope, the monster designs are creative like those twisted plant creatures and parasite like enemies, but the overall horror just isn't intense enough. There are jump scares, but not many. Psychological pressures, but not deep. Playing it, I felt more like strolling through a slightly spooky country park than running for my life. Especially the daytime scenes with sunlight pouring in, I almost thought it was just like cultural exploring game. You tell me, did the devs focus too much on story and dilute the classic Silent Hill foggy nightmare? That said, for new gamers, this might be a plus. No throwing controllers in fear, but for us veterans, this lack of horror atmosphere is a big deduction. Now let's discuss the most controversial part, the combat system. The development team was clearly heavily influenced by the Dark Souls series, completely soulsifying the combat system. Dodging, blocking, stamina management, boss battle patterns, these elements are not bad in themselves, but the question is, do they really belong in Silent Hill? For veteran Souls-like players, this system might feel familiar and comfortable. Precise timing, strategic combat, these are the charms of Souls-like game. But it's a huge but. Silent Hill's core was never about making you a combat expert. Its core was making you feel helpless, vulnerable, making you understand that you are just an ordinary person facing supernatural horrors. When you make the combat system too sophisticated and skill-based, that sense of helplessness disappears. Fully melee-oriented using pipes, baseball bats, axes, etc. Mechanics include normal attacks, charged heavies, dodges, blocks. Stamina management is key. One slip and out of stamina, then mauled by monsters. Upgrades via shrines offering of faith, boosting health and stamina, or equipping amulets. Enemies vary. Basic ones are dangerous. Boss fights are unpredictable, needing strategy swaps. I can imagine the confusion and frustrations that gamers who have never touched Souls-like games, especially newcomers drawn by Silent Hill's reputation, feel when facing this complex combat system. It's like going to a pizza place and having the waiter bring you a bowl of ramen. Might taste good, but it's not what you order. However, after all those negatives, I must fairly point out that Silent Hill F's puzzle design still maintains the series' high standards. These puzzles feel like old friends, familiar yet fresh. They test both your observation skills and logical thinkings. No incomprehensible nonsense puzzles, no overly simple giveaways. The game is packed with mind-bending puzzles like mechanisms using Japanese folklore, deciphering ancient scrolls, combining talismans, cracking shrine doors, and those environmental puzzles using light, shadows, and the sun clues. Super immersive. Playing, I feel like a detective groping for truth in the fog. Compared to combat, these recaptured the classic Silent Hill feel. No violence, just brains. One puzzle stopped me for almost half an hour, but solving it was euphoric. Every time I solved a carefully crafted puzzle, I feel that long-missed sense of achievement. It reminded me why I fell in love with this series in the first place. Not just for horror, but for that intellectual challenge satisfaction. In this fast-paced gaming era, Silent Hill F still insists on puzzles that requires you to stop and think, and that deserves praise. In Silent Hill F, some seemingly insignificant choices might have unexpected impacts later. It's like the butterfly effect. A small decision you make early in the game might completely change the ending direction. This design allows gamers to discover new content even on their second and third playthrough. However, this design is what frustrates me the most, forcing multiple playthroughs to unlock the true ending. Folks, I understand the development team's desire to increase replay value, but Force NG Plus design is really outdated. It's like buying a book only to find the last few chapters are locked and you have to reread the earlier chapters to unlock them. I admit, if a game is good enough and engaging enough, I will actively play multiple runs. But Silent Hill F's NG Plus feels more like it's designed to pad time. When my interest in a game is already waning, telling me I must play through again to see the real ending isn't adding value. It's consuming my patience, especially when the game's horror atmosphere and appeal don't match previous entries. This forced design seems even more unreasonable. I think many gamers share the same feeling. If I love a game, I will naturally want to explore more. If I'm not that interested, forcing me won't make me love it. So, to summarize my thoughts on Silent Hill F, this is a work with enormous potential that wasn't fully realized. It maintains some of the theory's excellent traditions, but in the most core aspects of horror experience and game design philosophy, it seems to have lost its way. If you are a Souls-like fan, you might enjoy this combat system. If you don't mind Force NG+, then this design may not bother you. But if you are like me, coming for the traditional Silent Hill experience, you might feel somewhat disappointed. My recommendation is that if you have deep feelings for this series, it's worth trying, but adjust your expectations. If you are new, maybe start with the series' classic entries. Finally, I want to say that even though Silent Hill F isn't perfect to me personally, I still hope to see this series continue developing and improving. Every game is an attempt. Every attempt is for a better future. Alright, that's my comprehensive review of Silent Hill F. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.